Hello everyone, and welcome to my show. Okay, I'm not actually gonna talk like that. My name is Tim Rogers, of Kotaku.com. I'm here with this guy, Bennett Foddy.
Hello.
We've got a green screen behind us, and then this game is very green, and you will see. Yeah, let's not talk too much about the logistics, but we're gonna play this game, Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy, which you may have seen on the internet, everybody. And if you haven't, you're about to see it. So, we featured this. We covered this on Kotaku a little bit before, but now you're here, and you walked here, right?
I did.
His house is within walking distance of this place. And I gotta say, Kotaku.com, you know, we're in a pretty fancy place right here because we're fancy business people. So, I mean, you know, Bennett Foddy, who's now, you've made what, like $100 billion off of this game already?
Only 60, 70 billion.
60 or 70 billion dollars. That 10 billion gets, you know, kind of lost in the ether. But what's the Steam rank of this game right now?
It was actually overnight. It was around 1 or 2.
Yeah,
most of the night. It's down to like number 10 now. So.
But it did peak at the top of the chart.
Yeah, I got past PUBG for a little while.
So this game was, for a moment, more popular than PUBG.
Yeah.
So let's. It's a game about using a sledgehammer to climb a mountain. Is it a sledgehammer?
No, it's actually a Yosemite hammer, which is it's like an oversized Yosemite hammer. It's somewhere half between a sledgehammer and a Yosemite hammer. That's a hammer you would use to drive nails into a rock face.
All right. And we're not going to be driving any nails into any rock faces with this game. We're going to be using this hammer to climb an increasingly ridiculous mountain, right?
Right.
So anyone who hasn't seen this game, you're about to see it. You use the mouse to swing the hammer, and you use the hammer to climb a mountain. So we've got the actual guy who made it playing. So you should. How good are you at your own game? We're about to find out. Let's find out.
All right, here I go. I'm going to start. I got to admit, I feel some pressure. I choke really badly in these sorts of situations. So, you know, I should be okay for the first couple of minutes. But look, I already...
Did you already mess up?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I could have done that.
All right, hold on.
I mean, I know. I was just playing this like yesterday.
This mouse is too good. Hold on a second.
The mouse is too good. Oh, wait, if you want to... Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
There's a button on the bottom of the mouse to change the DPI setting.
No,
We're using a Zowie FK1 mouse. Beautiful mouse.
It's beautiful to look at, but it's too good. I made this game with like a $5 Amazon mouse, and
that's what you have to test games on.
This does not bode well. What's going on right here?
When we made our game, we tested it on just the worst garbage third-party controllers we could find. These Xbox 360 rock candy controllers that are like they're on sale for $15 sometimes, and they're awful. They have these raw analog sticks that are just this hard plastic, cuts your fingers.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's something to look out for
this
if you.
Is terrible. All right, I'm gonna.
Yeah, what the heck, man?
Look, I'm gonna just blame my tools here for a second.
Well, you know what? Blaming the tools is actually not as shameful as you might think.
All right, here we go. That's All right, yeah.
All
just
right.
gotta settle into it. I've just got to relax.
Yeah, so a lot of people on the internet are as you'll see, everyone, as you climb this mountain, you don't die. You don't die unless you fall in the water all the way to the left of the starting screen.
I don't think he dies in that.
You don't die. He just gets back. How does he get out of the water?
We're cutting ahead, where nobody wants to know the logistics of how you get out of water. Nobody wants to see that, so we just cut ahead. He just
I've seen people asking you on Twitter, why is he in the pot? And you replied with, it protects his legs.
Yeah, obviously.
So my question is, how does he keep the pot on his legs? Oh, there was the Starbucks Christmas cup. Is that a reference to Starbucks War on Christmas from a few years ago? Because it's just a solid red cup.
It's a little bit of foreshadowing. I don't think of it as...
let's not spoil anything.
It's like here is another little bit of environmental storytelling on the right. You see that?
Yeah, garbage.
Little garbage can. You might just be thinking, whoa, what's going on here? Is this really a mountain? Is this something else?
Yeah, you know, I've got to admit, I've seen a lot of links to speedruns of this game, and I don't want to watch them.
Yeah.
Because I do plan on beating this game someday. So you were saying before we started talking here, you were talking about how how many people there are on the internet just posting rage clips of themselves screaming at this game. So you don't die, but what happens is if you mess up, it's very possible to fall all the way to the bottom.
Yeah, that will definitely happen to me while we're doing this.
Yeah, so that's an exciting reference point. I feel like this segment right here is like the real make or break. Like when you get here for the first time, you just have no idea how you're going to climb it.
Something like 40% of people never get past this point.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you had numbers on that.
People call this the Devil's Chimney. Okay.
Do they call it the Devil's Chimney? Are there words now for the landmarks and the level design?
They have names. There's like I mean this game is popular in China. I don't know what they call these landmarks, but in English, this is the Devil's Chimney.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a chimney. That's all I have to say about that. When I first got here, I was actually like, this was the only. Okay, yeah. I mean, I don't want to toot my own horn too much, but this was the only time I got mad at this game.
Oh, you went over the left. Yeah.
It was the only time, and then it never.
Oh!
Wow. So I never got mad at the game again, and we were talking about how there's just like you have seen millions of rage reaction clips on YouTube and Twitch and whatnot of people just screaming their guts out about this game. But meanwhile, when I got it, I spent what was just a perfectly pleasant, like, whole day playing this game. Just like, I don't know, it was relaxing for me. Does that make me a weirdo or a monster?
I actually think that most people get to that point.
Yeah.
Your capacity to feel frustrated and kind of ragey when it sets you back. Just, you can only die once, right?
Yeah.
And I think that your will to get angry at this sort of thing just dies, and then it's gone. It's a wound that you can only get one time, like having your brain removed.
Exactly. So you say in your Steam description you made this game for a specific type of person to hurt them, but it doesn't really sound like you're really hurting anybody. You're teaching them something they should have known already, which is don't get mad at stuff, right?
Right.
So when you made this, when you're assembling this game one bit at a time, this level, like, did you just go by so I mean, I've made a whole bunch of little games myself. I'm not crazy enough to make other people play them, but so my little test is, so I like to do games where you die in one hit because I don't want to worry about systems,
Yeah.
like health systems and whatnot. So
yeah, this game has very few systems. Actually, it's very unusual in this sense.
Almost systemless.
Yeah, almost everything in the game is static, which is really, really rare in a modern video game.
Yeah, and it might be the most modern video. Oh, beautiful jump.
Thank you.
As people, may have noticed, you can jump with the hammer. You're making this game look very easy. Oh, it's so weird to hear your voice of frustration in the game and also out of the game. So, as I was saying, when I'm designing levels for my own one-hit death single-player prototypes with cubes and circles, the rule I have for level design is if I can get past it, because you die in one hit, right? Mm-hmm. Because you die in one hit, all I have to do is spawn myself right in front of an obstacle, and then if I can get past it once, somebody else can get past it.
Oh yeah,
every
that's
time.
been my rule
For this whole thing?
Well, it's definitely when I made Co-op, that was the rule, and then I made a bunch of other games. Yeah, if you can like cheat your way to 81% of the way through a game and then work your way to 82%, then it's guaranteed there's going to be someone within 5 minutes of the game coming out who can beat the whole thing in 3 minutes.
It's kind of exciting.
Yeah.
Like, so we made a mobile game. Me and my buddies Brent Porter and Michael Kerwin. How you guys doing? If you're watching, by the way, we made a game that has a lot of deep stuff in it, and it's a survival style game where you die in one hit, and we had like these enemy monsters that show up if you survive several minutes or hours, and if I could kill one of them, that was it. That was all that I needed.
Right.
And then you never go back. And then somebody else can just beat the pants off the game immediately. So it's like there's a lot of like old games on the Nintendo and the Sega Genesis, your favorite game consoles. Bennett Foddy does not really like the Nintendo
No,
as much
I
as he likes
like-
the Amiga.
I like the Nintendo. I just think that it's a little overrated.
You think critics should have a more
we're talking
varied
We're
vocabulary?
talking about the Super Nintendo, by the way. The NES. That's about correctly rated. People like it. It's important.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
but
don't like the Super Nintendo.
it's just too popular. It's like
If-
Americans think that's the only thing that happened in the 90s.
If you like Super Nintendo, don't buy this game. Bennett Foddy just said everyone who likes Super Nintendo is terrible. So yeah, back in like the NES days and just any old computer games, there were always these challenges where we have like I get the impression of a programmer, right? Like because video games were made by very few people long ago, and I can just imagine this programmer, and he's got a boss, right? I'm imagining a boss figure, a guy in a suit, with a tie, short sleeve shirt and a tie is the guy I'm imagining, like Dennis Franz in NYPD Blue. Okay, so I'm imagining this guy, and he's like, "Is the game any good?" He says to the programmer, and the programmer's like, "Well, I can beat it," and then the guy's like, "All right." And then that's it. They ship it. Because there are so many moments in so many video games where it's like the solution to a problem, such as the Devil's Chimney. It's like you've got to hook onto those hanging lamps,
Yeah.
right, and pull up from there, and it's
Yeah.
teaching you a high level technique.
Yeah, look, you're not wrong. There's a SNES in Australia. We say SNES.
SNES, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's why you hate it.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I wouldn't
SNES,
want to play
Gesundheit.
SNES. We actually used to get beaten up at school for playing SNES.
Yeah, right. So anyway,
But that meant something else.
there's a Japan-only release called something like Umehara Kawase.
Umihara Kawase.
Yeah,
Yeah, love that game.
that's an inspiration for this game.
Yes. And the other obvious one is Sexy Hiking,
Right.
which you in your voiceover talk about at much length.
Yeah, this game is kind of about sexy hiking.
It's a game about sexy hiking, but it's also, when I did my 11-minute video analysis of
Yeah.
this game, analysis, is that the word?
Yeah.
I mentioned a kid that I saw on the train who has a bike. Do you remember that? I don't know if you remember that part of the video.
Yeah.
Where I talk about, I see that kid on the train almost every night now.
Really?
Yeah. He has a bike that has a sticker on it that says, "Just because we both ride bikes doesn't mean we're friends." And I'm like, that's a weird sticker to have on your bike. But anyway, when I made that video, there were a whole bunch of comments that were like, "This game is just sexy hiking. What? Why would somebody just make this game? It just looks like..." I'm like, oh, do you not realize that it's referencing it quite... you're doing so good.
I know. Oh, thanks, Tim. Thanks.
Oh,
thanks a
no,
bunch.
you didn't fall that far. He didn't fail yet, which is incredible.
I feel good about it because it means that the likelihood of me failing in a terrible way is increasing.
Yeah, because then that's what they call GT, good
Yeah.
television.
Yeah. Then I will feel something.
Would you say it's the Zowie FK1 that is helping?
It is. It is. Now that I've got on the correct sensitivity setting for my brain.
Man, pretty much the only reason I invited you here was to make you play this game, to concoct some excuse why I can't play it. Love the thumbs up. And then when you're doing much better than you said you were going to do, I was going to have Chris Person unplug the mouse in mid, but the computer's over there and not. I forgot to mention this to Chris Person before the show, but it's impossible to do now because the computer's too far away and I've just spoiled that I was planning for that.
Told him.
Yeah, I told you, so we can't. I was legit going to sit down with Chris Person and be like, "Hey, here's what we got to do. Okay, listen," and we were gonna make it legit, but nope, can't do it now. What other trick do I have in store for you, though?
I don't know.
None,
What,
actually.
That's it. You
there's
just
no other
blown
trick.
your whole.
I love that part.
What?
Whoa! Don't worry, we're not gonna do that again, everybody. Don't worry. Did you like that perfectly timed response to the
Yeah.
bats? That was. So you were saying some of these people.
Which
'Cause
which people?
The people who were I was let me finish a sentence. So, some of the people who rage at the game.
Yeah, the streamers.
So
yeah.
you made a little clip that is in your pinned tweet. I noticed.
Yeah.
So your pinned tweet has a little trailer you made of people raging at the game.
Yeah.
Streamers raging. And you were saying while you were editing that, you were finding some good rage.
Yeah.
And then every once in a while you would detect suddenly the facade would slip for a second and it would be like, oh, this isn't real rage.
Yeah, you know, it's funny, especially for me, because I inflicted this on people. I get a lot of, is there a word for mixing pleasure and guilt?
Mixing pleasure and guilt.
Guilty pleasure?
Guilty pleasure.
No, that's not right. Guilty
I
pleasure
feel if it's not a felony, you shouldn't call it a guilty pleasure.
Guilty
Just own
pleasures
it.
are just pleasures. I'm talking about a mixture of a feeling of guilt and...
Like actually feeling bad.
Yeah. So I get that when people...
Isn't there a German word for this?
Yeah, there probably is. But, yeah, when...
Where's my hat? Oh, yes!
It's fine. It's fine.
He's still okay. He's still surviving.
When... All right. Here we go. This is the hardest jump in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when I'm watching people who get really mad on their stream, I get like some guilt.
Yeah.
But it's also like there's some hilarity in it for me. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
And there have been some really great ones where I think Chance Morris has been great. He apologized to his fans for kind of losing his temper with the game. I think it seemed very heartfelt to me. I think
you've provoked an emotional response, like a
Yeah.
genuine emotional response to
Yeah.
people. So it's like that's something that you can feel guilty because I mean it feels bad. Like the people obviously feel bad. Oh shoot,
it's fine.
you're okay. You're okay. I like how calmly Bennett Foddy's like it's fine. So like you provoked a genuine response in people, which is something to be proud of because people play this game and it's like narratively. I don't really know what's going on in this game narratively, and we won't bother speculating about that. But narratively, you don't give the player a whole lot to go on. You have Jonathan Blow, the creator of The Witness, in a pot with a Yosemite hammer. It's a cauldron. There's water in the cauldron. We can see it splashing out when he moves, right?
Yeah. Something.
Something. It's something of some sort.
Yeah.
So like, you don't give people a whole lot to go on. You just give them this this sort of body horror of this hammer.
What makes it body horror?
It's not body horror because it's not
His body
gross.
is fine.
His body is
It's protected.
yeah, is it though? His legs are protected. So like you give people this weird horror, this strangely quietly dreadful thing, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And that they want to see what's up there so bad that they get that angry.
Yeah.
That's got to be hecka flattering.
Yeah. Look.
For you in particular, like, for me, it's just kind of like, as I theorized in my video, what is he going to get cooked as a soup at the end?
Yeah.
Is he going to land on a
Cooked
bun?
in his own sweat.
Oh man.
I
Maybe-
mean,
is
to
that what's
be-
in the pot?
Yeah. Obviously, it's not.
It's
It's not.
oh.
He's got nothing
Okay,
to
he's
absorb
okay,
his
he's
sweat
okay.
there. He's just. It's a metal pot.
So that's why he has the pot. It's to collect his sweat.
Yeah. You don't want to get that on everybody.
Or do you?
He's just one of those guys who sweats a lot.
He doesn't have any chest hair. Is he shaved? He
Uh,
has a goatee,
let's have a
but
look.
no chest
Let's
hair.
have a look at him. Yeah, he's in good shape.
You rendered this guy yourself?
The guy?
Yeah.
No, he's a Adobe Fuse stock character #1.
That's what I figured. Did you know that Jonathan Blow used to work at... No, I'm just kidding.
I think it's just Braid fans who work at Adobe.
Oh, see? Back at the anvil, though.
Yeah, well...
Or is this... Oh, as the streamers call it, this is the devil's anvil. So
I
this
fell
game
down
is...
from the devil's snowman.
This game's about getting over it. So the game is, as I called it in my little review, it's a rite of passage. It's like, that's why people want to get to the top so bad, is so they can tell people, yeah, I beat that game.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, I think so. Well, I don't know. I mean, I really thought people would reject this game.
Man, really? I
yeah.
remember seeing it and just being like, oh man, this is going to sell real well.
Really? Humble commissioned it. They came to me and they said, we're looking for kind of weird things that would not normally get made. And but it has to be mouse or keyboard because most of their subscribers, that's what they have.
Yeah.
And I thought about this and I thought, well, what about a game that that just doesn't care if you finish it or not. That seems like a thing that wouldn't normally get made.
A desk toy for freaks, as
But
it were.
yeah, it's like I actually literally thought, you know, I'll make a popular game after this, right? This will just be a little thing I do this year.
I remember once very long ago, and you know, you don't have to acknowledge this, but I remember telling you should just make a platform game that's as hard as QWOP.
Really?
And that's pretty much what this is.
Yeah, that's right.
I did tell you that, believe it or not, in November of 2010. I told you that.
Well, that just goes to show you the value of ideas.
Yeah, I planted the seed. Ideas are completely worthless. You know,
Ugh.
I just remember, so I'm seeing this yesterday, topping the charts on Steam, and I'm like, I want to make a video game.
Yeah.
But then again, that's, you know, you've had probably, I've had feelings like that before.
I mean, you've had that joy, Tim.
You've been in a, I've had that joy. I wouldn't call it a joy. Someone said PewDiePie did it better. Is that a joke? This is the guy who made the game, man. It doesn't matter what PewDiePie did or didn't do.
PewDiePie is, you know, he's the most successful reactor to video games of all time.
He's a successful man. He's got a good haircut and he's able to grow a beard.
Yeah, which is more than I can say or you.
I can't do either of those things.
Yeah.
My hair's a disaster.
Yeah.
If anyone in the chat has remarked on my sunglasses, I promise I'm not doing this to be cool. I had an eye exam at the ophthalmologist and they dilated my pupils, so they're incredibly sensitive to light right now. I'm not the kind of guy to wear sunglasses on a stream. I'm not esports enough for that.
I'm going to admit to you that I'm starting to feel a kind of slight welling up of frustration.
That's good.
Every
That's
time
good.
I play this, I've played this game, obviously, you know, you have to, when you release a game for money, you have to test it.
Yeah.
It's not something that I used to
No,
do.
you got to make sure, yeah.
Free games you don't test. But, you know, I played this game at least a couple of times. No, more like a million times, and it's always the way. I go really fast at first.
And then you get here.
And it's like I'm gathering up like sprained ankle here, you know, like a little shin splint. Like I'm getting these injuries because every time I fall, it gets harder for me to progress.
Yeah.
And it's like
that gets into the
see.
That gets into the therapeutic portion of the game, which is
Oh God.
Ooh. You need to acknowledge that just because you made one mistake doesn't mean you'll make the same mistake again.
But it does mean that, though. It literally
yeah.
makes that much more likely, and it gets exponentially more likely and more likely. And
the more you think about it.
Yeah, and then the thing is that if I fall and lose some progress, I'm never going to be able to get back to this point again. Not today, anyway.
You gotta put it down.
You've already seen the best that I can manage today, I think.
I think you've done pretty well. You didn't have a single massive failure.
Oh, I'm not saying I won't be able to get any further on this stream. I'm saying that the skill is gone.
Yeah, there was some high skill at the beginning. There was some real skill.
The skill has gone away.
Oh man.
This part's easy though.
Yeah, I like this part.
You like this? The background here is a homage to Amiga games of the
Shadow of the Beast.
Shadow of the Beast.
This is
Kickstart 2.
Man, Kickstart 2 is actually legit.
It is legit. We should play that on stream one of these times.
Yeah. Like our stuff if you want Bennett Foddy to come back and stream games that are not his own game. You know what we need to do?
What?
And I'm gonna brainstorm during our stream. We need to set up a sort of like a game show format where it's like I bring a game and you bring a game and I have to play your game and you have to play my game and there's some objective measure and one of us wins.
Should I go on the snake?
I don't think you should ride the snake.
Okay.
Oh my God, the buckets. So this is like a whole video game on its own here. This is like
It's a little like oh jeez, see, I almost did that in one go.
So I know you're a fan of Olympic events. You know, like the rings.
Yeah.
Gymnastic rings.
Oh, yeah.
Holy Lord, what a like. Oh. If you've never thought about how hard it is to perform on the rings as a gymnast,
Yeah.
everyone out there, head over to Wikipedia, open up a YouTube tab, and just It'll hurt just thinking about it after a couple minutes. That's a very strenuous exercise.
Yeah, even just getting up on the rings.
Yeah, just getting up there, it's incredible. And I guess those are like, would you say Olympic ring gymnasts are the strongest people in the world?
Yeah. Easy.
Yeah, it's crazy, the amount of strength that requires.
Yeah, this is, if anything, I think the game that does this kind of thing the best is that Philip Stollmeyer game, Zip Zap.
Oh, Zip Zap.
Zip Zap is great.
I was just playing that yesterday.
Zip Zap is a mobile phone game where it's just little dynamic elements like this, just little
hinges.
Hinges.
Yeah. So I've often had a good time, in the dark by myself with the door locked, with hinge joints in Unity. You just put a couple of joints on a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just love messing around with joints.
Look at
I
that.
mean joints in video games.
There's the bucket.
Oh shoot. Make sure you don't ride the snake.
I usually do.
You usually ride the snake?
Yeah, not intentionally. I usually will screw up somewhere in this zone.
I love screwing up in the zone.
Yeah, I'm not really in the zone.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's hard to be in this. It's tremendously difficult to come in here under the hot lights in front of the green screen and
So green.
play this game in any kind of a zone. So I would applaud your courage, but you did make the game, so it can't be that hard.
So I'm going to just try and do this part fast, because when I do it slow, I always wind up falling right back to the start of the game.
This is a sort of a clop sort of part here. We're just kind of going crazy. So if anybody is not familiar with the work of Bennett Foddy, well, you've made the game Quap,
Yep. Quap.
which everybody seems to know.
Yep, that's... Ooh.
I've told some people
Kotaku at night.
I've told some people about Quap, and they're like, "Oh, what's that?" And I'm like, "It's a game where you're a guy who's running," and they're like, "Oh, what's that?" And I'm like, "It's like you're in like the Olympics," and it's like, "Oh, what's that?" It's like, "Oh, it's like really noodly and the legs are all weird," and they're like, "I don't know, man." And then you fire it up on the browser because it comes up real fast,
Yeah.
and you go, "Here's Quap," and they go, "Dude, yeah, I've played this."
Yeah,
It's
that's
like
true.
it's
Yeah,
like that's
that is what happens.
I can't. It's like you can mention it's running, sort of Olympics, noodly limbs. You got to use the keyboard.
You actually literally have to type the name of the game to play it.
Yeah,
That's why
like
it's weird that
literally.
people don't know the name, right? You have
Yeah,
to type
because-
it over and over again.
They've assigned that name to their fingers, not their ears or their mouth.
I guess that's
Right.
right.
So the name lives there.
Oh,
Oh, you've got it. You've got this.
don't patronize me.
In
Oh,
America, we
fuck.
pronounce it patronize. Don't patronize me,
All right,
bro.
Here we go.
I gotta go surf.
This is so frustrating.
Before the stream, we were talking about how. Uh-oh. Is that a rage quit?
No, it's just
It's not a rage quit
it's
because you've got to fall all the way down the mountain for
call
the
it
rage
a
quit.
mindfulness moment.
All
Just
right.
a moment of mindfulness where I took a second just to think about what I was feeling and how it felt.
Yeah, this part is particular. I have not gotten this far. Yeah, it's just that it doesn't look like it's gripping right.
I mean,
So
this-
you
it's
did up a
nice.
list on your blog of the most frustrating actions in games, like the flavors of frustration.
Yep.
One of those frustrations that has
Oh, jeez.
bothered me for a long time is when a character in a 3D game doesn't. Oh yeah, you're down there. A character in a 3D game accelerates really slowly and like trying to run up a hill that you're like it's not that you're not supposed to run up it, but it's like the game doesn't require or encourage it, but sometimes you accidentally have to.
It's fine.
It's fine, everybody. Don't worry. It's fine. But like in Mario 64, when you have to run up a hill sometimes,
Yeah, I love that.
and he's just like,
And you're trying to convince yourself that it's possible.
he's got those feet. First of all, his feet sound like 3-year-old's pajamas, which has always weirded me out. It sounds like a toddler with footy pajamas.
Mario's feet?
Yeah, in Mario 64.
Yeah, I mean, he can't be wearing tap shoes. He's wearing soft little shoes.
Yeah, but they're like this little sound that it's making.
That's what long jump shoes sound like.
Yeah, I guess they do. Mario should be wearing high tops, I think.
Oh yeah, for jumping higher.
Yeah.
What do they wear in the high jump?
Oh man, they wear high tops. They wear. Oh man, I feel like I know they wear Nikes because everybody wears Nike in the Olympics. But there's this particular. I recall seeing their shoes were not the same as the runners' shoes.
Okay, here we go. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it, everyone.
Yeah, you're gonna do it. You got it. You got this. You got it. You got it. You're gonna make it.
I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it. I'm not gonna fall back down this time.
So did you design the top to be particularly easy to fall all the way back to the bottom from?
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
So it's like throughout the game there are a few little bottlenecks where it's like if you fall, you're not gonna go all the way down.
Right. I give you a little rest some of the time.
Every once in a while you have not save points so much,
Safe
but like
points.
havens.
Havens.
You have a couple of havens on the way up, and then you will take away the haven
Ugh.
every once in a while.
Frame rate's killing me.
Yeah, what's going on with the frame rate?
Oh. Who are you asking? Me? Or,
Yeah, I'm asking you. Like,
it's your computer, buddy.
No. No. You got something leaking, man. There's something going on
Maybe.
here.
Should I quit and come back? Maybe
Um.
I'm gonna do it. Is that okay? Can I do that with this thing?
Yeah, I believe it's.
Not sure. All right. Okay. All right. Look,
It looks like the frame rate has.
It came back.
It's
All
come
right.
back. It's come back.
That's
It's
fine.
restabilized.
Fine. Yeah. So you're accusing me of a leak. There can't be a leak. It's not. Everything in the game is static.
Yeah, I guess that's no systems.
Yeah. No systems. No systems.
No
No
systems, no
leaks.
leaks. Yeah,
No bugs.
exactly. that's the dream.
That's the secret of game development.
We're I'm actually, so believe it or not, renewed by seeing this game be successful.
You're renewed.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I need somehow to deliver some kind of passionate football coach speech to my friends Brent Porter and Michael Kerwin, where I'm like, look,
Your partners in crime.
there's no money to do this right now because our video game, the most beautiful game ever made, failed miserably because we didn't spend $1 million marketing it. The most beautiful game of all time. You play that with 4 people who know what they're doing. It's like, yeah.
Are you talking about Video Ball?
No, you don't have to mention the name of the game. Don't buy Video Ball, everybody. It's too late for it to ever make me any money. Have you gotten people asking you to port this to the Switch?
Yes, lots.
What's with people
Yeah,
asking that?
I get,
First of all, the Switch is great.
but mostly people ask me to port it to Android.
Oh, yeah. Tough luck with that, everybody. Sorry. Bennett Foddy's just confirmed it's not going to happen.
No, it could happen. It could happen, but
I haven't gotten it on my iPhone yet.
There's nobody more passionate than Android game fans.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Because they made a choice. They chose the phone that doesn't have all the games. Right? I mean,
look, I had an Amiga. I was as a kid. So
Yeah.
I have deep sympathy for that. Right?
I did not
We
have
didn't. We did not have Mario. We did not have Sonic. You know what we had? We had Donk.
Barrio,
we had,
Barrio and
yeah, we-
Donic.
Exactly. We had Donk the Duck.
Donk the Duck.
Yeah.
Yeah. You had Dizzy.
Dizzy. Yeah.
James Pond.
James Pond. Yeah. Exactly.
Oh,
So
man.
I'm deeply familiar. I have nothing but love for people with that particular frustration.
Oh yeah, I mean I love it too. I'm all about. I mean I have 2 Android phones.
You really?
Yeah. I mean I don't use them as my main phone, but I've got some Android
That's
phones.
your burner phone for when you're
Oh,
when
let's
you're
just-
dealing with your handlers.
Let's just put it this way. This isn't my only paycheck, okay? Let's not get into that anymore. But Android's cool. It's just I use the iPhone when I'm on the bus. You know, it's nice to read on an iPhone.
Yeah.
I got my iBooks on there.
I like my iPhone.
Yeah,
I can pry it from my cold dead hands.
I mean, there's reasons to not like it for other people, and I respect all those. But this game is on the iPhone right now. You just gotta take a breather. You need some water.
No, I'm alright. It doesn't use a lot of water, this activity.
I was hoping you were gonna.
Just to move my hand a little bit.
I was hoping you weren't gonna refuse the water, and then I was gonna say, "Oh, yeah, we don't have any." I was gonna, "Oh, we don't actually have any water. Sorry." There's no water in this building.
He's used so much water out of his pot.
Yeah. How many gallons? Well, he's just making more water with his body.
That's true. That's true.
Man, okay, so I just want to know, before the game started, like before, like again, I don't really want you to pull back the curtain too much on the story, but before the start of the game, when he wakes up in the pot and comes
Yes.
out,
Yep.
did he take a dump in there?
No, he's sleeping in there. You don't take a dump where you sleep.
Unless you're in the hospital.
It's a bed.
That's a different type of pan.
It's a bed.
Yeah. Man, I haven't passed excrement into a bedpan for like 24 years.
That's too bad.
It's been a long time.
In Korea, they call it jar game.
Jar game?
Jar game.
Jar game. Yeah, jar game.
Jar game.
You're playing jar game, dude?
Yeah, that's my best Tim Rogers. That's all I can do.
Yeah, when you try to do an impression of me, it sounds like I've got a surfboard under my arm.
My name is Tim Rogers. I've got a surfboard under my arm.
Dude. Yeah, so, man, playing this game, the part with the bucket reminds me of, gymnastics rings. And I'm thinking gymnastics rings is like such a fascinating thing. Oh.
Oh! That was not intentional.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. So it's like gymnastics rings is like such a fascinating mechanism that could be explored in a video game of some sort.
There's that Taizo game. There's like a game about it. And then there's Justin Smith's realistic summer sports simulator.
Yeah, I like that.
That is a good game. You know, if I could be any one person in the world, it would be Justin Smith.
Really?
Desert golfing.
Yeah, I like desert golfing. I made a game just like that. And then,
your golf.
and I never finished it.
Yeah, I know.
I made a vertical one that's just pretty much vertical desert golfing.
I think I played the prototype of that.
Yeah, it was just to see, is this a good idea? And then it was kind of you did
How about that?
You got over it.
Yeah, I didn't even have to cry.
Wow, you didn't lose once.
But I'm not. Look, I don't want to do this on stream. I'm gonna throw it all away. I'm gonna ride the snake.
Yeah, everybody, that's a spoiler. I don't want to know what's up there.
Yeah, you don't want to. You gotta find it for yourself. You gotta look deep inside yourself. Also, riding the snake is the true ending of this game.
I don't want to look deep inside myself.
Really, what might you see?
I don't know. There's a lot of stuff inside a human body. You ever seen the inside of a dead body?
No, I have not.
It's horrible looking.
Really? What does it look like?
Man, I once described it as just a brick of crumbled rainbow meat.
I'm gonna keep on getting sucked back now. I need the reverse of what's the reverse of escape velocity?
Get in there, velocity. Get in there.
All right, here we go. Oh, I didn't do it hard enough.
Oh, this owns.
This is getting over it. Oh, there we go. There it goes.
More like getting out of it, right? Are you gonna ride the snake?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
All right, everyone, get ready to ride the snake.
I want to say this is a reference to one of my favorite games.
Which game?
Snakes and Ladders.
Snakes and ladders, shoots and ladders.
Yeah, no, snakes. That is getting over it.
That's the snake. Yeah, we got over it. That was a good time. We had a good time. Right? Is that a good time? Do you wanna just keep playing? Do you wanna play it again? What?
Want to wrap up?
Yeah, we can wrap up the show now. That was a good time.
I'm sorry I played it so well.
Yeah, we really thought you were gonna mess up. Okay, let's top it off here with get as far as you can in just go for it, man.
All right, I'm gonna
Just go for it.
Here I go.
We're gonna see how far you can get. I'm gonna wait. Stay right here.
right.
I'm gonna start a stopwatch. We're gonna see how far you can get in 5 minutes.
All right.
All right.
I'm
So we're gonna
try and go
ready?
fast.
Here you go. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. We're gonna give him 5 minutes to get as far as he can go.
Here I go.
So the question is, do you want to go fast and possibly make a mistake, or do you want to take it slow and possibly get further?
Obviously, I've proved I can do it slow. I want to go for the glory.
What are the so how do people time a speed run on this? Do you start a new game and then you?
Yeah.
Are you going to implement you should add a thousandth of a second, a millisecond sensitive speedrun mode.
It does keep your time down to the millisecond.
Oh, well, heck. I don't know because I haven't beaten the
But,
game
you know,
yet.
speedrunners have also put the splits in there, whatever it is that they do.
Yeah.
Oh.
Whoa. Oh, that's getting over it. There's still minutes on the clock.
It doesn't get that much easier for me, I've got to tell you. It's like, you would think that I just had this down by now. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen Terry Kavanagh playing Super Hexagon. He's like a monster.
Wasn't he number 1 on the leaderboards for a long time?
Yeah, he kept turning up to tournaments of his game and then just beating everybody.
That rules.
Yeah.
I did that to Video Ball, except it was much sadder. Because Video Ball is a beautiful game. We had the same announcer as Super Hexagon for Video Ball.
Jen Frank did a
so-
wonderful job.
Apparently, Jen Frank, while doing a wonderful job at voiceover, was not the reason that Super Hexagon was more popular than Video Ball. It was something. It must have been something else.
I'm actually pretty good at Super Hexagon, but not so good at this game.
I'm pretty all right at Super
I
Hexagon.
do feel like I've kind of leveled up while we've been talking, though. This is better than I've ever done at this game before.
Well, sometimes it helps to. It genuinely helps to just divorce yourself, distance yourself from.
I think that's
A
it. I
thing.
think that while I'm talking to you, I can't overthink it.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
kind of it's muscle memory to some extent.
You're not alone in jail. You've got a cellmate,
Yeah.
basically.
Oh. It's weird how this can happen, right? It's just, if you just take your time, there's plenty of grip.
So all of the graphics in this game, did you just get these from somewhere? Where did you get all these graphics?
Yeah, a little bit of it is by me, but the models, this is trash core, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's the aesthetic here.
Trash core.
Asset core. Maybe asset core is a more polite way of putting it.
This is all just like free stuff. Did you
Yeah.
buy stuff?
I bought a little bit of stuff, but I tried to prefer to use free stuff.
Yeah. So there you go, everybody. If you want to make a video game, you don't actually have to be able to make all the art.
It's weird that we make all the art in video games.
Yeah.
They don't. It's not like they make all the props for a movie. There's some, for sure. I mean, they do make some props.
They rent them from like an agency. So, oh yeah, by the way, in case anybody wants to get this game, it's on Steam right now,
It's on Steam.
and it's on iOS,
It's on iOS.
and it's on Amiga.
It's not. It would be good on the Amiga, though.
It would rule on the Amiga.
The best gaming machine of all time, and I don't just say that as somebody who didn't have a SNES or a Genesis.
Do you happen to have an Amiga that you could bring in here?
We have one
and
at
show us?
NYU. Yeah, it used to belong to Casey Muratori, the tech programmer on the Witness.
Yeah.
Kindly donated it to NYU, and now I force students to play Amiga games on it.
There's a lot of. I'm gonna go ahead and say there's a lot of ideas on there.
On the
There's a lot of ideas on the Amiga. I don't hate the Amiga.
Yeah, how could you?
Yeah, you'd have to be sick to hate the Amiga. You know what system I didn't have when I was a kid, but I've never admitted it, is I didn't have a TurboGrafx. I didn't have one of those until I went to Japan. Oh, that's the bottom of the
Welcome home.
welcome home. That's what streamers say in China.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
yeah.
When someone falls, they say welcome home.
One of their names for this game is you should call home more often,
Oh, that's pretty good.
which is the name of I'm given to believe it's the name of a popular Chinese parental guilt song.
That's good.
Yeah, yeah. It made me feel like we kind of miss out by not having parental guilt songs,
Uh-huh.
right? What do we have?
What do we have? We have Hit Me Baby One More Time. It's the last time I listened to the radio. I don't remember. I find my own music.
Yeah.
It's very different from making my own music, but I find my own
it,
music.
Yeah,
I
fair
don't.
enough.
I don't like.
Yeah, you're like
I don't go
every-
through the traditional
I know you're a
curator.
North American video game fan. You listen to the Final Fantasy VI soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's wrong with that? Remixes of Terrace theme.
Yeah, you listen to
Yeah.
the Chrono Trigger soundtrack a little bit.
You mean remixes of Lucas theme?
Yeah.
I don't listen to the whole soundtrack.
You listen
okay?
to
I'm not that mainstream.
The Sonic the Hedgehog 2 soundtrack, maybe, if you're feeling a little bit funky.
Masato Nakamura.
And Michael Jackson.
I mean, legitimately. Michael Jackson did a couple of samples for Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Okay, I love Michael Jackson. I love Janet Jackson.
What? What are you talking about? The credit song in Sonic 3 is just
Yeah,
Smooth
that's
Criminal.
Oh yeah. That's Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
But it's not like totally Michael Jackson.
No.
But he didn't have anything to do with Sonic the Hedgehog 2. That was Masato Nakamura from the Japanese pop band Dreams Come True. Well, 5 minutes passed, and you were at the
I was doing well, right?
I'm gonna go ahead and misuse it for you were plumb at the bottom at 5 minutes in. So we're gonna go ahead and say you lose, and you should call your mom and apologize for.
You should visit home more often, Tim.
I'm thinking about it. It's Christmas soon, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's Christmas.
It's coming up.
My parents live in Indiana.
Yeah.
You know, I have a job now. I don't really have an excuse for not being able to afford an airplane ticket. I had a weird 7 years of my life where I, worked for little companies and, worked on a bunch of little projects, like a million little things at once. And I believe that everyone around me obtained the impression that I'm some kind of a weird bum, and including my parents. So, like a couple of years ago, like, we can buy you an airplane ticket. I'm like, man, I'm not that much of a bum, am I? But, now it's like, look at my bank account. I'm like, yeah, I can at least afford an airplane ticket.
To Indiana.
Yeah. I go to the airport and I get a Starbucks when I go back to my parents' house for Christmas, where there's that Starbucks cup right down there. So that's the
you
omen.
just
That's
you
the
just
omen.
tied that up perfectly.
So it's I get a Starbucks in the airport and I drink it's terrible, but they have this mint chocolate, hot chocolate
Yeah.
for Christmas.
Yeah.
I drink one of those in the airport before getting on the plane
Yeah.
to go visit my parents for Christmas. And that's how I know it's Christmas. That's how I know Christmas is here.
I'm gonna do that when I visit your parents for Christmas.
Man, come on over, dude. Come on over. I'm not even kidding. Come on to Indianapolis, Indiana. We'll go to Waffle House.
People in this country always ask me. They get a little, they furrow their brow a little bit, and they're like, "In Australia, do you have Christmas in December?"
Or do you have it in June? They think you flip it so that it's winter.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Man, I blew someone's mind once by explaining that Babe was an Australian film.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and this person didn't believe it. And I was like, well, look at the Christmas scene.
It's got.
It's summer. They're having Christmas in the summer.
It's an Australian movie because it's got Sam Neill, who's from New Zealand.
Sam Neill is one of the best actors in the world. Everyone check out the mini-series To the Ends of the Earth, starring Sam Neill and Jared Harris. It's on Netflix. It's about Australia. I like stuff that's about Australia, which is why look forward to my game, Ruin, Rooin, which is a kangaroo shooting simulator. Also, everybody check out the film Wake and Fright.
Wake and Fright, best Australian movie. If you want to understand this game and how
check
an Australian would make this game, Wake and Fright is your best bet. Somewhere between Wake and Fright and Picnic at Hanging Rock.
Picnic at Hanging Rock, excellent as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's getting over it. And it looks like we didn't get over it just yet. So
No, I refused to.
I mean, getting over it is hard to do. We're gonna be back with more streams sometime. And if anybody likes Bennett Foddy, just give a thumbs up or such in the comments. Maybe we'll have him back and play some Amiga games.
Yeah, let's play some Amiga games.
I think playing some Amiga games, you can try to sell people on the investment of.
They are way more frustrating than this. We're going to play some Kickstart 2.
I think it is more frustrating to get an Amiga emulator running than it. I think it's worth it to just buy an Amiga.
We'll do it.
But yeah, we'll get back to you all about that later. Owned.